What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here and something very important just hit me. So I want to talk obviously a little more about the NX here. So what's going on is, well, it's pretty much confirmed by the New York Times, I believe, that the NX is going to have at least one mobile unit, which means that it's going to have a unit that you can take on the go representing the system, the NX, the ecosystem, whatever you want to call it. So it's going to have at least one mobile unit. If that's the case now, it's pretty obvious that they can't sell you a system and a mobile unit that's just as powerful as the system. I just talked about it in the last video how Nintendo is going to make like iPads. They're going to have like an iPad, like a Nintendo NX Mini, a Nintendo NX regular size, and all that stuff. But the point of this video is that if there's going to be a mobile unit, just like I said in the last video, or just like an Apple ecosystem where you can play a game on the home console, you can play a game on the mobile unit, right? So if this is the case, the price would be astronomical. The price would be through the roof. So this is pretty much confirmed. This is the way it would have to be. And not only because of the power of a console versus a handheld and the pricing and stuff like that, it has to be this way too for third parties. And what I'm saying here is, does this mean that the Nintendo NX, is this confirming that the NX is going to have x86 architecture? And that's very important because the Wii U, they preached and everything about how Wii U is easy to port over to, right? But the problem is that it was easy to port over to from the last generation. It was easy to port over to from Xbox 360 and from PS3. Then when the PS4 and Xbox One came out, the difference is that last generation PS3, Xbox 360 was PowerPC architecture, and so was the Wii U. But when the PS4 came out, when the Xbox One came out, they went back, or Xbox went back, because the original Xbox was x86. Now PS4, Xbox One, next generation is x86. Now we have a problem. This is the main reason why third parties dropped their support for the Wii U, because now to port, they stopped making games for PS3 and 360. Well, I mean, they're still kind of making games for PS3 and 360 up until recently too, with Metal Gear and everything too, which is amazing after, everyone's saying after 10 years. So now you have the Wii U and the PS4 and Xbox One with different architectures. PS4, Xbox One, x86 architecture, which they did because games are so hard to make these days. There's so much to go into making games that they wanted to make it less of a burden for third parties, meaning that make it on the PC like they do already, and then just, because PC is x86 architecture. Make the game on the PC once, and then just simply port it over the PS4, Xbox One. Simple. Now you have the Wii U, a mid-gen system, I guess you would call it. Now hard to port over games from PS4 and Xbox One. They probably could have did it if the Wii U had x86 architecture, and they probably just would have dumbed the games down, maybe took out some of the effects to make the game be able to run on Wii U. But now that we have a difference in architectures, to port it over to Wii U, not only would they have to downgrade it, which is work, but to port it over to Wii U, they would have to completely rewrite the coding and everything in the game. Basically, a lot of work to port from x86 to PowerPC and the PowerPC to x86. So not only is it important for the NX to have x86 architecture for third parties, because let's be real here, you have to make it a pleasant experience for the person that's buying it and for the people that are making the games. So not only does it have to be x86 architecture for the benefit of the third parties, does the fact that the NX is going to have a home console and a mobile unit, something you could really take on the go now, which was people thought the Wii U was going to be, but the Wii U tablet you have to keep in the vicinity of the console. But now this NX mobile unit you will be able to take out of your house, which will most likely have less power than the console. Therefore, games would look different on the mobile unit versus the console, where you would have the mobile unit most likely being less powerful, having to run the games at a lower resolution, lower power, just like it would be if you're using different PCs. If someone has a less powerful PC, they have to put the settings on low. If you have a really good PC, you put the settings on high. And considering that the Nintendo ecosystem is going to be something you could sign into from wherever, your computer, the NX, the Wii U probably, that these games will probably have to be x86 architecture to be able to be played on these many different things. And like my last video, like I said, if Nintendo is planning to come out with different levels of NX consoles, just like an iPad, if you want a, iPad mini, or you want an iPad large, or like Apple does with the phones, the bigger ones have more power, you would have to have some sort of x86 architecture, some sort of PC-like architecture where you can play these games on different levels, different powers, and they could be dumbed down if they needed to, etc., etc. So does this mean, and does this confirm that the NX is going to have x86 architecture, which they need to do anyway, even if they weren't doing a mobile unit? I would highly doubt that the NX does not have x86 architecture, because they need to do it for third parties, and they need to do it if they're going to have their games running on a more powerful home console and a less powerful mobile unit. This is Joey, JCM, Nintendo, let's go! Give us something, we're dying here, we're choking, we're thirsty! Let's hope we get some information soon. But for now, I will see you later. Wow!